Hey everyone, and welcome to your first read aloud session. We are going to be reading Home of the Brave by Catherine Applegate, and in this story, like we talked about in class, this whole book is written in free verse poetry. So you can see if you're following along with me, I'll always tell you, just like I do in class, the page that we're on and the name of the chapter, and I'll let you know where we're reading up to, and I'll also make that the title of the YouTube video so that you can kind of figure out where we are and where you are, and you can match up the days of reading with your days of work. So today and if you see me looking down a lot, it's because I'm looking at my lesson plans, and I'll have them right in my lap, just like I do at school. So just like school, but now through your screen. So today we're going to be reading from the beginning of our book all the way to page 15. And like I said, it's through poetry, so it goes pretty quickly. And for read aloud, what's going to happen is the usual turn and talks I will just share with you, and you can either turn and talk to someone at home, or if they're listening along with you, or you can type in your turn and talks in the online journal that I'm going to be making for you, and there'll be a whole set of directions on that coming up very shortly. Okay, so let's get started. If you haven't yet already and you'd like to watch the movie that's posted on the Google Classroom, it's free, so I suggest that you check it out. And also, if you haven't had a chance to fill out the anticipation guide before listening to this read aloud, please go fill out the anticipation guide first, and just like we do in school, we will go back to that anticipation guide when the book is done. So here we go. The first chapter is called Snow. When the flying boat returns to Earth at last, I open my eyes and gaze out the round window. What is all that white? I whisper. Where is all the world? The helping man greets me, and there are many lines to question. The piece of paper and pieces of paper. At last, I follow him outside. We call the snow, he says. Isn't it beautiful? Do you like the cold? I want to say no. This cold is like claws on my skin. I look around me. Dead grass pokes through the unkind blanket of white. Everywhere the snow sparkles with light, hard as high sun. I close my eyes. I try out my new English words. How can you live in this place called America? It burns my eyes. The man gives me a fat shirt and soft things like hands. Coat, he says. Gloves. He smiles. You'll get used to it, Keck. I'm a tall boy, like all my people. My arms stick out of the coat like lonely trees. My fingers cannot make the gloves work. I shake my head. I say, this America is hard work. His laughter makes little clouds. Chapter 2. Old Words, New Words. The helping man is called Dave. He tells me he's from the Refugee Resettlement Center, but I don't know what those words are trying to say. He isn't tall, like my father was, and there is hair on his face, the color of clouds before rain. His car is red and coughs and burps when he tries to make it go. Doesn't much like the cold either, he says. I smile to say I understand, although I do not. Sometimes Dave speaks English in tangled sounds. So we're going to stop right there for the first turn and talk. Keck says this America is hard work. What does he mean by this? And what about America is hard for him? So at this point, you can pause the video. I don't have to wait for you to respond. You can pause the video and then restart it when you're ready. They tried to teach us in the refugee camp, and sometimes he used my words. He's like a song, always out of tune, missing notes. To help him, I try some English, but my mouth just wants to chew the words and spit them on the ground. We're like a cow and a goat, wanting to be friends, but wondering if it can ever be. So your next turn in talk is after page 7, and it says, what does the phrase, I try some English, but my mouth just wants to chew the words and spit them out on the ground, suggest about Keck? And the great thing about turn and talk on video is you can rewind if you need to, or you can pause it and respond and then hit the play button when you're ready. I'm so used to repeating the responses, but this is new for you and me also. So the next chapter is questions, page 8. We drive past buildings, everywhere cars, everywhere dead trees. Who killed all the trees, I asked. They're not dead, Dave says. This is called winter, and it happens every year. In spring, their leaves come back. You'll see. He turns to smile. His eyes are wise and calm and the eyes of a village elder. Your family will be happy to see you, Dave says. But he doesn't mean my truest family, my mother and father and brother. I don't answer. I reach into my pocket. I feel the soft cloth I carry with me everywhere, blue and yellow, torn at the edges, the size of my hand, soft as new grass after good rain. Dave asks, when did you last see your aunt and cousin? A long time ago, I say, before the camp. I can tell that Dave has many questions. I wonder if all American people will be so curious. My mouth is going to get very sore stumbling on words all day long. We stop at a light hung high in the air, red and round like a baby sun. How was the airplane trip? Dave asks in English. When I don't answer, he tries again using my words. Did you like the flying boat? I liked it very much, I say. I liked it very much, I say. I'd like to fly such a boat one day myself. When Mama comes, we'll take a flying boat around the world. Dave turns to look at me. You know, Keck, he says, we aren't sure where your mother is. His voice has a soft sting of pity in it. We don't know if She's fine, I tell him. I look out the window at the not dead trees. She will come, I say, and this time I use my words, my music. So our stop and jot, I guess these are all stop and jots technically. Your stop and jot is to predict what you think happened to Keck's mother. Why didn't she come to America with him? And where is she now? Think about the video that we watched and think about the conversations that we had in class leading up to this. Two more chapters. The next chapter is called What the Heck? We drive down a long road with many fast cars. Still, there are buildings, but sometimes not. I see a long fence made of old gray boards, and then I see a cow. Stop, I yell. I feel regret in my heart to use such a harsh sound with my new helping friend. Please stop, I say, gently this time. What? Dave asks. What's wrong? Did you not see her? The brave cow in the snow? Dave glances in the looking back glass. Cow? Oh yeah, that used to be a big farm. A lot of land around here is getting sold off now. But that farmer's hanging on. I don't understand his words, but I can hear that he doesn't love cattle as I do. And I feel sorry for him. I twist in my seat. The don't move belt across my chest pulls back. Oh, what the heck, Dave says. I have not learned the meaning of heck, but I can see that it's a fine and useful word because he turns the car around. Next chapter is called God with a Wet Nose. We park by the side of the fast car road. Walking through the snow is hard work, like wading across a river, wild with rain. The cow is near, a fine, wide-armed, good-for-climbing tree. To say the truth of it, she is not the most beautiful of cows. Her belly sags and her coat is scarred, and her face tells me she remembers sweeter days. My father would not have stood for such a weary old woman in his herd. And yet, to see her here is a strange land makes my eyes glad. In my old home back in Africa, cattle mean life. They are our reasons to rise with the sun and move with the rains, to rest with the stars. They are a way that we know our place in the world. The cow looks past me. I can see that she's pouting, with only snow and dead grass to keep her company. I shake my head. A cow can be trouble with her slow, stubborn body, her belly ripe with milk, her pleading eyes that shine at you like river rocks in sun. An old woman comes out of the barn. She's carrying a bucket. 2 chickens trot behind her, scolding and fussing. The woman waves. "Just saying hello to the cow," Dave calls. "Let me know if she answers," the woman calls back, and she returns to the barn. "We should go," Dave says. "Your aunt is expecting us." "A little longer," I say, "please." "I know cattle are important to your people," Dave says. Again, he tries to use my words. "A man I helped to settle here taught me the saying in Africa. I'll bet you would like it. A cow is a god with wet nose." I laugh. We wait. The wind sneaks through my coat. My teeth shiver. I take off a glove and hold out my hand, and at last the cow comes to me. She moos, a harsh and mournful sound. It isn't the fault of the cow. She doesn't know another way to talk. She can't learn the way I'm learning word by slow, slow word. I stroke her cold, wet nose, and for a moment I hold all I've lost and all I want right there in my hand. I need a Post-it to save this. Sorry, getting the talking point ready. Your stop and jot or turn and talk is Dave tries to use Keck's words and shares an African proverb. A cow is a god with wet nose. What do you think this means? What does this proverb mean? So that's the end of our first read aloud session. Again, I will have the pages linked or written as the title of this video so you can see. And if this worked out, we'll keep doing it. And you should check in Google Classroom for the correlating questions. That means the questions that are the same as the part of the book that we just read. You can write in there and click submit. I will go in and check it and leave you some feedback. Hope you're having a great day.